These people don't give a shit.
He's giving them the business.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He got it. Goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. He's going to win the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won the game.
To the 40, Herman Whitfield to the 30, to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown FSU.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another week of College Football Extravaganza. We're going to go over Week 6 games and talk about Week 7, give you our picks, give you our locks. It's me, your daddy, Roberto. And right here we got Pussywah, I guess.
Pussywah.
Boys, we got the boys in the house. That's what it is. Davey.
Pussy.
Pussywah. It's fancy. I like it. It's fancy. New persona, hat, glasses, all that. Davis rocking the Go Argos. I love it. All right.
Go Argos, natty champs.
Hey, if you're sitting there talking college football with any of your people at work and they say, not really too many games on this week. What are you talking about? The Pac-12 is going crazy. We got Tennessee hosting Texas A&M. We got a lot of shit to figure out. Iowa, Wisconsin's going to decide the Big Ten West. There's every single week. I feel like every single week this year, this season, has given us something to be excited about, and that excites me. So anyway,
you get a little feeling in your pants there, Rob.
A little tingly,
excited,
a little tingly in my dingly, you know.
Jumping nuts. Really, that's all it is.
Really, that's all it is. So let's keep it going. I know the boys are excited because I did my work this week and got some sounds back that we all love.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's just ignorant. And we got the real lock, so we're gonna be locking it down hard. All right, let's go. Let's get into it. Not a bad week for us. Davis, you're still in the lead, so we're gonna let you take it off. Last week with your locks. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm not doing the. Nope. That's the new ones. Let me go to the old ones.
Every fucking time.
Nope. Well,
There we go. Wait, no. Yes, that's right. That's right. Okay, so yeah, Texas, Oklahoma over. That felt like a safe bet, although it was close. What a fucking game that was.
it was very
Oklahoma
close.
was so good. That final drive, oh my God! Like Gabriel, if he wasn't in the Heisman conversation before, he is now. Wazoo, that was a little disappointing. Mizzou, extra disappointing. I thought we had it, and LSU had the late surge. We got Florida. I think they play so well at home that we were bound to get it, and I squeaked away with Maryland. So what was that? 3 for 2.
Did we all go 3 for 2? We all went 3 for 2, right?
Yeah, and for some reason Justin had Maryland plus 20, so I went ahead and gave that to you. But Maryland.
I had Ohio State minus 20.
Yeah.
It was either way. Push did not push. It's cool.
Either
But
way.
the line changed to
wait.
minus 17. So that's
Gotcha.
the thing. The line changed.
Oh,
to
so I
minus
actually
17.
didn't get that hit. I did not get that hit. So never mind. I went 2 for 3. Damn it.
Oh, okay.
Damn
So
it.
I'm gonna have to change this here. You're 19 and 14 actually. Sorry.
Damn it.
We'll change that upon releasing it. But Davis,
So I have a question. Just a
It's
question.
still leading.
I have a question.
I'll go ahead and yours as well.
So, all right. So we do these pretty early in the week, right? And so the thing is, whenever we set these lines last week, it was Ohio State minus 20. And then that line, it changed to 17. Now, I can't make up an imaginary line when I go to make my lock.
Mhm. I mean, it's kind of
So-
like if you put in a bet. If you put in a bet and the line moves, your bet's still what it was.
Yeah, I
Get
think
that.
we keep that. But if we push though, it needs to be like a tie column, Or because it's not, you get your money back. You don't win money, you get your money back.
Right.
But don't we phrase it as, oh, I'm taking Ohio State to cover, which they covered. That's how we phrase it.
If it was minus 20 and I gave that to you on this one, but it'd be a push. But I mean, in all reality, when you took it, when we were on the podcast, it was minus 18 and a half or minus 17 and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
because I had it on Davis's. So we must have been mixing lines somewhere.
I thought it was 18.5 to be honest. Give me the loss because I think it was 18.5. So go ahead and give me that loss. I'll take it. We're gonna have a bounce back week.
Yep, honesty is the best policy. Go me next. Me next. Let's see. Hopefully I got the right one. Yep, this is me. I did the Texas-Oklahoma over. I was on the edge of my seat. I thought I wasn't going to make it, but we made it there. I was dead wrong. Dead wrong. Kentucky, I said Kentucky's going to beat Florida, and if they do, they're going to lose. Like, their season's over. They just care about Kentucky and Florida. They just care about winning that one game, and then they don't care. And they had a terrible game, and then Georgia came out and had the best game they've had all season. And I wasn't even close on that one. Colorado, they won by like 3 points. They kicked a field goal there. It was 27-24 against Arizona State. So I was close, but no cigar.
But that line moved to 3, you know? I'm just saying.
I mean, I hate 4s, and like if I went and bet on this game, which I didn't bet on it last week, I probably would have bought it down to 3 or bought it down to like 2.5 because I don't like the little in between scores. I don't like 6.5s. I don't like 4s. I don't like that.
All I'm saying, is so the line moved to 3, right? Now we can't make an imaginary line. Like whenever we put our locks in. But you did.
What do you want? What do you want from me?
I mean, you said we said Colorado's going to cover. They covered.
Yeah.
They covered.
But like lines vary from like site to site, whatever. If we're going to go with the main ESPN line, then yeah, we can stick with the main ESPN line, whatever they give on the website. But are you going to run that all the way up until like the start of the game?
Whatever the line is when the game starts.
Okay.
Like that's what we take.
We're
not putting real money on this. I'm
gonna overrule you.
Some people are.
Yeah, some people are. I'm gonna overrule you and say it's whatever we set it at when you make the pick.
Yeah, because you can't help that, right? Like,
yeah.
Today's Wednesday for us. It could change by Saturday morning. Like, you can't help that the line is going to change. We're going based off what we know now.
Now,
and the podcast is already out. Like, it's not like we can do another podcast and be like, I changed my mind.
I will say, if you text me before the graphic goes out and you're like, line change, I want to make a change, I will do that and I will honor that. But if the graphic goes out, then the graphic goes out because I ain't got that much time. All right, Justin, we'll bring your locks up if you want to talk about them. Bada bing.
Cover. No cover.
Buddha.
Cover. And no cover.
Very concise on you.
Look, but I will give this one. Let me talk about Marshall. They suffered their first loss of the year. That was a great game overall. Defense played badass. Had 3 picks on a D1 team. Always loved we're fucking D1. Had it on an ACC team. You see my boy K comment saying, "Will Marshall bounce back?" Yes. We're still the top contender in the SBC. Other than James Madison, that's the only team I worry about. We go to Georgia State this weekend. They're 4-1 on the year. We're actually not favored. One of my locks. We're not favored, and that's fine. Georgia State, I think we're going to run right through them. But you see that. Give Ali the ball. We did not play our best ball. We played really scared. We didn't open up the RPO and the play action until late in the second quarter, and we went up. We were up 3 going the second quarter. And then the fourth quarter in the last 10 minutes, you saw Rasheen Ali maybe twice. This guy's one of the best running backs in the country. He was leading the country in rushing touchdowns and many statistics. He was the only player in the country with 2 touchdowns per game. And we weren't fucking playing him. It didn't make sense. Suppen was up, whether that be he was hurt. I never saw anything about him being hurt, but Suppen was up, and yeah, it sucks, because you want to be 5-0. You lost to a North Carolina State team that they're okay. They're pretty good. They play tough, and just it wasn't our day. But 48, you allow 48 points is not good. You score 40 plus, that's fine, but you can't allow 48. It's still a badass defense though, and it just wasn't our day that day, I guess. But it sucks.
You blew it!
They'll blew it.
That
Yep.
part.
All right.
Yep. No New Year's Six Bowl anymore. No New Year's Six Bowl. Fuckers.
Some other news coming out of the week, and we'll pause the quote unquote hip hop music. Music was kind of bringing me down, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah. For this, Mark Stoops after the Kentucky game was on. I think it was just Kentucky broadcast here. Yeah, let me pause this and share the screen.
Yeah, it was
Made
like
some
his weekly show.
that people are freaking out about.
Fuck him.
I just want to make this very clear. There's nobody decommitting because of that. I actually think, Mark Hill, Mitch.
Oh, this isn't it.
Yeah, that's not it.
That's not it.
But then this is his weekly coach's show, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like sponsors and stuff, and they don't ask him the hard hitting questions and shit. Yeah, those shows.
Yeah, this is pretty much what he said.
Yeah.
That's not it either. Why is it so hard to find shit
God
on it?
damn.
All right. Basically, what he said.
Oh, I can find it real quick for you,
Yeah,
but
Hey,
you
just
keep
go
talking.
to just go to the main ESPN page for college football. You're gonna find
I mean, we don't really have to find the soundbite. But he's basically what he said was, you start, fans, if you're complaining because this one fan called in, he said, if you're complaining about it, donate more money because people are paying their players. Like Georgia definitely paid their players. And then Kirby Smart responded. He was like, he's just trying to drum up some support from his fan base in the NIL age. And that's right. But my main gripe is with Kentucky fans. Like, are you guys not happy? Mark Stoops is the best you're going to get. You fire this guy. I don't know who's better than Mark Stoops right now. Who are you going to get?
It's like when the Reds fired Dusty Baker. Whenever he got us to the playoffs every year. If we fired Dusty Baker, we haven't made the playoffs in a full season since. And Dusty Baker is now getting ready to cruise to his 7th straight AL championship series.
You lost to Florida.
That's kind of what that is.
Yeah, you lost to Florida 32 or 31 years in a row, whatever it was, before Mark Stoops came along. And now he's got a 3. Even when Florida had a shitty, even when 2 years when Florida didn't make a bowl game, y'all still lost to Florida. And now he's got a 3 in a row win streak over the Gators, over my Gators. And y'all are sitting here saying, what are we going to do with this guy? He's never going to get it. It's because you don't have the history of being a good football program. Besides Bear Bryant back in the day.
All I care about is fucking Rupp Arena and Kentucky basketball.
Yeah, your
and
basketball.
John Calipari.
And that's how it's going.
Freshman.
And you think that's going to change anytime soon? Look, Kentucky is a basketball school. As much as they want to believe, as much as Mark Stoops wants their team to be a football school, and you're in the SEC, you're in the best conference in all of college football, you're not going to be able to compete with the likes of Georgia, Alabama, even Texas A&M has money, yet they still have a difficult time recruiting football players to have a successful team. Like it's really in LSU, the same LSU, another school, good football school, can bring in a lot of money, can bring in good talent. Kentucky is not going to be that school. They're like a much, much better version of Vanderbilt in a way. Like Vanderbilt is a really good baseball school. They used to be a good basketball school, but they're a really good baseball school. They're going to focus on one sport at a time. And Kentucky has basketball. Vanderbilt has baseball. They don't have football, even though Kentucky's football team is respectable. It's just not going to bring in the finances that they need. And look at their stadium.
Yeah.
They don't have that major stadium that these other schools have.
They do for
won't.
basketball. They have the all-elite Rupp Arena.
No, I'll hold you up right there. Kroger Stadium's nothing to flinch at. Honestly, I've been there in a game time atmosphere. I went there the year Felipe Franks got hurt, and then Kyle Trask came in and dropped his nutsack all on Kentucky. But it's actually a good stadium, very hostile environment. The fans rowdy. They'll invite you to the tailgate, and then when they see you in the stadium, they'll fight you. So that's the stadium's not bad, honestly. But here's
deny
the actual
or make excuses, and we're not going to do that. It is what it is, and fans have that right. I give it to them. I just encourage them to donate more because that's what those teams are doing. I could promise you in Georgia, they bought some pretty good players. You're allowed to these days, and we could use some help. That's what they look like. You know what I mean?
Now, if you could do me a favor, go to that CFB chat on Instagram and play the PJ Fleck clip. I'm gonna talk a little bit about this though. You know, Bama they're in a very similar situation, just flip flop, right? Like Bama, they've done great in basketball these past couple of years, and everybody loves that they're doing great in basketball. They're ranked number 1, right? But you're not Saban. You're not Bryant Denny. There's a difference. And Kentucky's just the exact same way, just flip-flop between the two. You're not committing financially to your football program, just how Bama's not going to financially commit to their basketball program. It's just how it's going to go, right? They know what they're good at. They know what their best is. And this clip right here, you see Stoops talking about, oh, you should donate more, this and that. PJ Fleck in a very similar situation. He played the number 2 team in the country, or whatever Michigan may be ranked. I think they're 2. He played the number 2 team in the country.
2.
And this is what he said. Yeah.
That's I said this on the radio a second ago. I think they're the best football team I've seen in 11 years of being a head coach. I've never seen a football team like that deep. I'm not sure if this is true, but I was told this walking off the field. I think they traveled 75 people and maybe played like 74 of them. I don't know. I mean, they're one of the deepest teams, one of the best teams, one of the biggest teams, fastest teams, strongest teams, and they do not make mistakes. They are truly like a boa constrictor, and they do not beat themselves.
Yeah.
They're very good at each position. They're very aligned with everything that they do. They know who they are, and they go and execute that game.
That's coming from PJ Fleck, right? PJ Fleck, he's had better seasons than Mark Stoops. This guy's been 10-2 in the Big Ten before, coming from a solid division in the Big Ten, and he shows ultimate respect for his opponent that just whipped his ass up and down the field. Unlike Mark Stoops, who played the back-to-back national champions, who played a incredible team, who's been rough. They've been shaky. They're not what they used to be in these past couple of seasons. They're definitely beatable. And you want to go say some shit like that. That's just disrespect, especially after getting your ass kicked. For like PJ Fleck, though, that's how you go about that situation. You admit, yeah, my team, it wasn't up to what they can do. They're deep, they're strong, they're fast, and they're just better on paper, and they're a playoff contender. Where Stoops, he fails to realize, like, hey, my team is not playoff worthy. But I just got my ass kicked by the back-to-back national champions. He said he want to blame on the fans, saying, oh, y'all need to donate more, this, that. That's not how you do that shit. That's I'm not going to say that one.
I mean, I don't know. I think he's just trying to drum up some support with his fan base. I mean, that's a local radio show. You're talking about Kentucky fans only listening to it. Like, I get it. He's blaming it on, he's not. I don't even think he's blaming it on anything. I heard this earlier on Unnecessary Roughness, where they're like he's kind of alluding to the fact that they could buy better players, like his players aren't good enough or something like that. And I was like, yeah, maybe that makes the players feel a certain way, but then also you could pay the players more that you already have or something like that. You could pay for better facilities, pay for more coaching. I don't know. But I think he's just trying to drum up some support from a fan base that's primarily a basketball fan base.
I'll just say this. If Saban said that shit to Bama's fans, they would go irate.
Well, yeah, that's completely
He pretty much
it really a ton of money.
And they all throw it into football. And he pretty much did. Remember preseason, him and
Kentucky has money. They just throw it into damn basketball. Like
that's what I'm saying. That's what Mark Stoops is saying.
That's where the championship.
I'm saying he needs to realize his role. Like, I guarantee you, Minnesota probably throws.
I don't blame.
They probably favor their hockey program more than their football program.
But I don't blame a coach for publicly saying, "Hey guys, like we do need more financial support." Because at the end, players do want to go work out in those world-class facilities if they have the opportunity to. They do want to be a part of a team. And Devin Leary, awesome quarterback. Ray Davis, awesome running back. These are guys, they have a pretty solid offense overall. Their defense gave Florida a hell of a time. I think that Kentucky does have a part. What is the difference between Kentucky and Georgia? Georgia is a elite complete team. In Kentucky, they have strengths, but it wasn't anywhere near enough to overpower Georgia. And just think, as Florida fans here, wait till Florida plays Georgia. We're probably going to see the same result.
Kentucky is.
That's right. All right. Moving on, something crazy turn of events that happened. I turned this game off because I thought Miami had it. I think I turned it off, and there was like,
oh man, that was dumb.
A minute left in the game. Mario Cristobal, and I saw after this. I didn't remember the game before, but he had done this one time before where almost paid for it when he was at Oregon. He ran the ball when late in the game, could have put it away with a knee. Ran the ball, fumbled, and Stanford recovered and nearly had what happened this past week to this week. Now, Miami fans are kind of irate right now.
They should be. It's their first perfect season in a long time that they have going on, and they fucking throw it away to Georgia Tech over some dumb shit like that.
Yep. Now, I will say he was down here. Clearly, he's down. I really think the fix is in. Someone must have had a massive parlay that was going to hit, and Vegas called these refs and said, "Hey, we need you to call this a fumble still."
Or they said, we're going to make this dumbass pay for his idiotic play call that he just had, and we're going to see if Georgia Tech can go and ruin their party.
Yeah. In all reality, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But at the same time, I mean, you got to call this back. You got to say he's down. That elbow's clearly down. As you can see here, also clearly down. And then also Georgia Tech sliding into the end zone. What he slid into the end zone. Here's the actual play.
Here's Chaney, the straight ahead, tackled, and the ball popped out.
Yeah, so 30 seconds left in the game, and they call that.
But even at that point, you still got to play defense.
It was just one of those things where everything that could have gone wrong at that moment in
shot.
time for Miami went wrong. Every little thing that could have gone wrong went wrong.
I mean, you let them
all
go
because
70
they didn't
yards.
take a knee.
You still let them go 70 yards on you.
But then also right here, he initiates a slide prior, look, right here, to getting in the end zone. That ball should be down right there, and the clock stops on a first down, and they got 1 second left.
But I thought if you even when you initiate a slide, I thought it's when your knee goes down.
Yeah, I don't think that's a slide. That's a weird speculation theory that you're throwing out there. That because he just looked like he lost his balance because he overextended on a couple steps and he fell into the end zone like that. By no means did it look like he put his feet out there first and tried to initiate. And also, why would he try to initiate a slide? They're only up 3.
I thought he did.
I didn't think he did.
He slid for sure, and everyone's talking about it. I don't know if you've been listening, to
everyone's talking about it.
But like, why would he be trying to slide? They're down 3.
Why do players let go of the ball at the 1 yard line? I don't know. That just happens.
No, I don't think he was trying to slide.
Just do that. Let's look. I mean, I'll pull it back up again. This is a slide all day, every day.
I don't know about you guys, but I mean, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but his head is literally center of his body. Like he's not leaning his head back. Every time I see a football player slide, they come in and their head goes back. Like I don't see that.
It does. Look how his head's leaning forward right now.
His head's overextended because he lost his balance. Because he overstrides. He's overstriding. He's trying to catch his balance, and then he falls into the end zone. That's what I see.
He's moving back. Look how his leg goes from behind him to in front of him.
Because he's falling.
Looks like a slide to me. Either way, Miami shouldn't have put itself in that situation. Very, very, very questionable call. Now, some Miami fans are saying, hey, we should fire Cristobal over this. I don't think so. That's not where you go with that. That's just a bad call.
That's like firing Stoops, man.
Yeah, he's got
your best coach you've had in a long time.
Yeah, just got to learn from that and move on. And Mario Cristobal afterwards, you said, "Hey, hold on to the ball," when they asked him about the call. So I don't know. We might see it again.
Yeah, hold on to the ball. No, I just don't get it. Like, what is wrong with taking a knee? Like, why are you against it? It's just a for sure play.
I heard that the running back was like at 90 some
Who
yards.
gives a
and
shit?
He was trying to get him to go to 100 yards rushing. I mean, still, like, you do that when you could probably do that when you're up by 2 touchdowns or something, but not when the game is still well within reach, when you could lose if a touchdown were to be scored by the other team. If you have any possible to give up the ball, you take a knee.
That's where Mario Cristobal just set himself from elite and good tier coaches to very mid-tier coaching because he's worried about that dumb shit. That's dumb shit
He's
right
good.
there that makes you lose your job, lose games, and makes you just not be a good coach. Because you don't see the coaches like the Dabos, like the Sabins, like the Kirby Smarts. They don't do that. They don't give a damn about no players. They had 60 minutes to get those yards and get those chances if they really cared about those stats. That's not the time you go and try and go pad some stats when you're up 3 in a conference game.
Yeah, and you should be up by 1 million in this game, but maybe that'll put some fire under Miami's ass going into this North Carolina game, which we'll get into in the Week 7 predictions and locks. So we're gonna go. We got to take shots. We haven't taken shots yet. So our shot game was Kentucky, Georgia.
Can I shotgun? Can I just shotgun instead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Davis, congratulations on winning the shot game. Sometimes you're on the losing end of this.
I still need to see the.
Yeah, I gotta take a little. I'm gonna take a victory sip. How about that? A victory sip.
Take a sip. Take a sip. Okay. Now we're going. I fell asleep watching this game. I thought USC had it was a pretty close game. Arizona, don't mess around. If you're in the Pac-12 and you're a fan of any of these teams, and you got Arizona coming up, do not take Arizona for granted. They're doing like Justin. They're coming in, making it serious. Shotgun and beers and walking into the Coliseum, going into triple overtime with USC. These Wildcats are for real.
They do, and not only that. I mean, I get it. Like it was they still gave up 43 points. It went to 3 overtimes. Keep in mind, but even Arizona with the high-powered offense of USC, they showed up defensively. They showed up defensively for a long time in this game. And USC, I actually, for this being a West Coast game, being kind of late, I stayed up and watched most of the game until it was like midway, like beginning of fourth quarter was when I tuned out. I fell asleep. But was it Fafita, or the quarterback for Arizona? That kid balled out. That kid looks awesome. Good quarterback.
This game, I think it shows something. All right. I mentioned this to you yesterday, Rob. Because yesterday y'all questioned me on Washington, or last week y'all questioned me on Washington, and because they almost lost to Arizona, they only beat them by 7, right? And, you're thinking like, oh, it's Arizona. Why are they only beating them by 7? And then they take USC to triple overtime, and I'm like, are we saying Arizona's good? No, I'm not saying that, but I am saying this just shows what we've had on previous statements of how competitive and how deep the Pac-12 is this year. Even their mid teams, which is Arizona, the Arizona States, Colorado, their mid teams, they're still coming to compete. They're not going to lay down. And Arizona, they almost had a taste last week on a top 10 team, and they were just so damn close this week on a top 10 team. But that also moves me to my next thing. Lincoln Riley, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, they played Washington close. They have Washington State next week, and they have Oregon State, UCLA, Colorado, Utah, Arizona State after that. They're going to get one of them. They're going to get one or two.
They're going to pop somebody. I mean, that's what the Pac-12 is this year. They're going to pop. They're going to get popped by some random teams, and it's going. Like I said, the Pac-12 is going out with a bang.
Yeah,
and it's so much fun what we're seeing right now. The Pac-12. It's must-watch football, and the great thing about it, it's at midnight when you're drunk. It's a lovely thing.
Lovely thing. I love it. I love it too. And midnight on the Pac-12 as well, as this is the very last season you're going to be able to witness any of this. So, celebrate it while it's here. But shout out to USC and Arizona for playing them close. USC for getting the win and giving us a Notre Dame game. Notre Dame not so much. Loses to Louisville. Does Louisville get some respect on their name after beating Notre Dame?
Absolutely.
Or are people saying 9 times out of 10 Notre Dame wins that game?
No, I mean,
yes, man. Dude,
they're 6-0.
Even struggle. They made struggle. Dude, Jack Harlow was at the game. He was fired up. You saw him on camera at the end of the game behind the head coach cheering. They made Sam Hartman throw 3 interceptions. He had no interceptions going into this game. It was a nightmare for him. Defensively, they were just on it. They dominated the game from the get-go, even though it was technically time. It just seemed like I had this in the bag.
You know what's so weird? All right, the top 3 teams in the ACC. This shit annoys me. Like, it annoys me. Like, Louisville's good. Florida State, they're the second best. Well, right now, Louisville's ranked number 1 in the ACC because they're 3-0 in conference play and they're 6-0 overall. So they are technically atop the leaderboard ACC. So fly birds. But Louisville doesn't play Florida State. Louisville doesn't play North Carolina. Florida State, they don't play North Carolina either. Your top 3 teams don't play each other.
That's an issue. Yeah, they could be all
What the fuck?
They could be all undefeated in the conference going into the championship week, in which an analytics team has to decide who goes into it, and if they can't decide who goes into the championship, then the commissioner of the conference gets to decide.
That's just dumb. Like, you have to schedule better than that. I mean, because first of all, I'm mad because Florida State's getting off way too easy. They got Duke with an injured quarterback. They don't face Notre Dame. They don't face North Carolina. They don't face Louisville. They face Miami. Miami's your only look. They face Clemson every year, but Clemson ain't worth a damn. I have Syracuse, hopefully giving them good competition this week. But other than that, I don't know. The ACC is all over the place. It's the All Children's Conference at full swing.
Tickets as low as $7 to that Syracuse game, by the way, if you wanted to go to that. But yeah, I mean, Louisville looks good. I hope they end up undefeated still. I kind of do hope we get this undefeated situation, then we have to decide. But I don't know. We'll see. But I got to move on because we have a couple other games to cover. Alabama beats Texas A&M 26-20, and UCLA, Chip Kelly defense? ? Takes care of Washington State. So UCLA not built for the defense traditionally with Chip Kelly's offense, but that's what they're doing this year. They're hitting under.
I was feeling so good about Wazoo in this game. I feel like I have to take an honorary sip as a result of that. An honorary mini shot as a result. I was feeling so good about Wazoo, and
I was too.
You've been riding Wazoo. You like that Wazoo.
I know, man. Well, I was out in Wazoo about a month ago, and I feel it, man. I felt like I walked away an honorary Wazoo fan, and I'm like, I'm riding with them the whole way. And
I don't know. I was a Tally about the same time you were in Washington. I walked away hating that place more.
That section of Washington's a beautiful. Seattle's beautiful, but that side of the state, don't knock it. It's beautiful out there too.
Yeah, Northwest.
So I walked away with an appreciation.
Yeah, Northwest up there is absolutely gorgeous land. But I mean, Washington State's got a tough out next week against Arizona too, so that's a tough drop for them. But UCLA wins 25-17. North Carolina takes care of Syracuse 40-7. Drake May has an awesome game, probably one of his best games all season.
Best game for sure.
Yeah, best game. Oregon State gets it done.
Yeah.
Ole Miss gets it done 27-20 against Arkansas. LSU came back and beat Missouri. I thought Missouri had them in this game. LSU came back, and I believe it was 42-39. And they had a pick six.
22 points in the fourth.
Yeah, so
and
absolutely insane.
Jaden Daniels, he's atop that Heisman conversation right now. Like he's a big force that they've been talking about in the Heisman conversation. It's a slow creep, like LSU are skating by, but Jaden Daniels, he looks good. It's not his fault. Like they are a top 5 offense in the country, at least pass offense at least, and they have their defense is the 107th worst ranked passing defense. It's not their fault they don't have a defense. They should probably fire House, but Jaden Daniels, he's doing pretty good. He looks great. This week, 15 for 21, 259, 3 touchdowns, along with 130 on the ground with a touchdown. That's Heisman numbers, dog. Can't say much more.
Malik Neighbors is awesome to throw to as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's got some weapons to throw to. Luther Burden on the other side, though. Luther Burden for Missouri, great wide receiver. He's an athlete, so watch out for him. And next week, he had 149 yards, near about 150 yards this last game. So It was an entertaining game to watch.
He's got like 54 catches for 800 yards on the season. Like he's been you got 800 yards as a receiver through like 6 games. You're a dog. Like you're a dog.
And I'm gonna give it to myself on this one. I did pick the Wyoming upset over Fresno State, so take that. Laramie, Wyoming, always tough place to play. And for my Gators out there, we took care of Vanderbilt 38-14. Graham Mertz, he's serviceable.
He's a competent quarterback.
Yeah, he's got a very high completion percentage. You know, he's not looking for the long ball. He's, I mean, it's not exciting football here, but what are you going?
I know he's doing the job. What did we ask out of Graham Mertz? Basically, was just give us some wins. Give us some wins. That's all we really asked out of him. I don't think anyone's expecting Graham Mertz. Yeah, fuck you, Justin. I don't think anyone is.
I have the
expecting
password
Graham
to this
Mertz to
account.
light
I'm
the
not afraid
world
to
on
use
fire.
it.
Okay. So he's doing exactly what he needs to do, but that's why, like, whenever Florida gets put against these really, really tough teams, like, well, we're gonna get to South Carolina here in a little bit. Like, again, they're still like, are we sure we can win that game?
It's I say meh. All right, and I'm allowed to say meh because it's meh. You know, like it's nothing crazy, right? Like it's not like we're not competing. Yeah, we're winning. We won a game against Vandy. Graham Mertz looks good, but I'm not happy. Like it's just like what's there to like? There's just what are we doing?
Look,
this is not the status we're supposed to be at.
Well, we could say what are we doing, but at the end of the day, they still won by a lot. They covered their
I get that.
I'm
not knocking them for that. I'm not knocking them like saying they had a bad game or anything.
You know, we lost to Vanderbilt last year, right?
We did,
because I told you, I said last week, if you lose to Vandy this week, it starts questioning, should we fire Napier early? Maybe. No, he's going to have a third year. He's going to have a third year. It'll be a very hot and warm seated third year, but he will have one. But right now, it's like this is just Florida's all over the place, in my opinion. It's just not.
I like the improvements that he made. Yeah, I like the improvements I saw with the team. They looked like they had a lot more energy. They were a lot more physical, and they even had a halfback pass. I know he threw an interception on it, but that's what I like to see. I like to see the end arounds with Eugene Wilson. Get that man the fucking ball more. That guy, the ball needs to be in his hand. I'm not going to call him Percy Harvin, but it looks Percy Harvin-esque. That guy is a playmaker, and we got some playmakers who are young at receiver. Eugene Wilson is a dog, dude. He is a dog, and not a bulldog, but he's a dog. Anyway,
true freshman too.
Yeah, true freshman.
Freshman.
Yeah, get 3 the ball, dude. All right, moving forward to week 7. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we usually do this podcast on Mondays or Tuesdays, so we already had some games. I was watching the Coastal Carolina game. I joined Justin there for a little bit at Old Hickory here in Pensacola and watched this game. Coastal just hung around way too long. They ended up winning 27-24. Grayson McCall
dominated, really.
Kind of. That is.
Well, they dominated up and early. I mean, make this very clear. Grayson McCall, he's the 3-time Sun Belt Player of the Year. You don't have that happen very often in college football where a guy gets named Conference Player of the Year 3 times and then he's playing a 4th. It's very rare. So, for them, not to be favored, that's saying a lot. I get it. They were 2-3 going to this game, and they haven't had the prettiest seasons. Like, they don't have a great defense, and they're not what they used to be where they were competing with BYU and all these top 25 teams. And, it's a different time now, but last time these two faced off in Boone, App State upset them. Great game. These two always play a great game. I love the Carolina games. They're always fun to watch. They upset them when Coastal was ranked 14th as a Group of 5 school. They played UCLA, lost to them, but they beat a good Jacksonville State, Duquesne. They lose to Georgia State, which this gives Georgia State a lot of credit. And then they lose to Georgia Southern. That one's not one that you look at and say, yeah, that's not a loss you should be having. But the thing is, Georgia Southern, they're ranked 4-1. A lot of the Sun Belt teams are ranked really good. The Sun Belt's really fun ball. Like if you're looking for good conference play, it's in the Pac-12. It's in the Sun Belt as well. These are the places to watch good football week in, week out. It's just so competitive. You don't really know who's going to come out on top. It's just who has their best ball that day. That's the type of games that you're seeing in the Sun Belt, right? And yesterday, App State and Grayson McCall and Coastal, they delivered. It was great football. I enjoyed watching that game, and it was down to the wire pretty much until the very end. And overall, it's what you want to see on a simple Tuesday night, right? We got football on right now as we're talking about it. We're in the 50 days of football. 50
I'm
days
watching.
of football.
I'm watching FIU right now.
Yeah, how about those?
FIU on over here.
How about that Miami Vice? Those uniforms and the field looking pretty badass. Honestly, I like it.
They're
Oh, yeah.
pretty sweet. The 305.
Yeah.
But I mean,
305 logo
when
right
did
there in the 50.
when did Coastal play their last game? I think it was September 30th. Yeah, they played September 30th. I think App State. I don't know if they had I mean, can you really call it a bye week? I don't really know. Like, it's kind of weird how these group of 5 games, like, yeah, they also played September 30th as their last game. So, like, yeah, these two are also coming off, and they play in, like, an early week 6 game, week 7-S game. You know, so, but overall, it's really good football. Like, I knew Coastal and App State. It's a rivalry. It's great football. And it's also the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
And for a Tuesday night, that's pretty good ball to watch.
I go back to the UCLA game. I mean, that loss is looking better and better as the year goes on, honestly. And they played. That was an awesome game to watch. And I thought Coastal might have came back and won that game. There in the first week. I think that was the first or second week. That was the first week because I was down there for the FSU LSU game. So that's looking good too. So Coastal, good football team. Hopefully they continue that win.
They're 3-3, which is like they're probably one of the best 3-3 teams in the country. That's what's so funny about it. They're legitimately probably one of the best 3-3 teams in the country. They play Marshall in 2 weeks, so I'm sitting there like, we have to go to Coastal. I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, there's no slouching in the Sun Belt, man. There really isn't. And I mean, part of me loves it, part of me hates it because I'm a Marshall fan. Because I'm sitting there stressed out, like, I hope we win, but if we're not on our A game, we're going to get ran through.
Yep. All right, moving forward. First game I'm going to cover right here. West Virginia going to Houston. Former coach Dana Holgerson of West Virginia, now coaching at Houston. And I got this as my first lock of the week. I got West Virginia. I think they're going to cover -3 here. Let's see if they'll give me a -2.5. They're going to give me a -2.5 here. So I'm going to take that -2.5 West Virginia over Houston. If you look at this Houston schedule, this is what did it for me. They lost to Food. They lost to Rice the second week. They lost to TCU. I don't put a bunch of stock in TCU, and they lost to Texas Tech. If I take a look at West Virginia's schedule, on the other hand, I'm seeing a bunch of dubs, and I'm seeing a good loss there in the first week to Penn State. I'm seeing, well, I don't count this one right here, but they beat Texas Tech, so they got a common opponent there, and they beat TCU. So I'm going to use the transitive property a little bit, and I'm going to say West Virginia gets the job done. That's going to be my first lock of the day.
I'm going to follow you up on this. I'm actually, I want to lock this one in too. This is actually a pretty good game that you're talking me into it more and more. This is a pretty easy lock, and I'm going to follow you up on it. Like West Virginia, Houston, yeah.
All right, we'll lock that up. You're going to have to change it though, because I definitely got it for whatever.
Yeah, I know you kind of talked me into it though, so blame yourself. But.
All right, I'll blame myself.
Yeah, if I had looked into this game a little bit more, I'd probably put a lock on it, but I'm not. I have other games I feel like that are going to be into it. But if I can give an honorary lock, it would be West Virginia because, they're playing consistent. They're a solid team. I mean, Penn State, I'm still like I'm like even with Penn State, like they lost kind of. You can call it respectable all you want. Penn State kind of handed it to them, and they're playing with a redshirt freshman quarterback. So I think that this West Virginia team is looking good right now, but they should be able to handle Houston. Houston's struggling. And quick side note. Who else still can't believe that TCU actually went to a national championship last year with the way that they're playing this year?
Yeah, they lost.
They lost weapons. They lost a ton of players, but it's still then you look at this team and it's like, damn, like that team went to a championship last year.
Davis, how many starters are there in football? Like, just how many starters are there in football?
Total 22.
Well, 20. 24 if you want to get technical punter.
If you want to count the punter and
20.
kicker, sure.
They lost 21. That's a pretty big fall off. They lost 21 starters.
Was anybody really surprised?
No.
Maybe Sonny Dykes can rebuild it, but
I think he can. I got respect for
Sonny. Sonny could definitely rebuild this. He's a great coach. That's why he's been there for so long. But he can definitely do it.
And you got to look at how they won last year. They squeaked by on a couple of games there in the regular season. Hell, they ran the field goal team on and kicked a game-winning field goal at Baylor to win that game. And then they did lose the Big 12 championship to Kansas State last year. So, they were going into the championship with a loss. Not saying they weren't the team that should have been in there. They did beat Michigan. They did beat Michigan in the semifinal, and they got that spot there, but got absolutely trounced in the championship. But, yeah, TCU obviously rebuilding year there. But we'll move on. Anyone want to cover these Friday games? We got Tulane at Memphis. I looked at it. I was like, that's too close to call. I'm not betting on that one. You got Stanford at Colorado. Colorado's favorite minus 11. And I think, Davis, you might have had a lock in this game, so we'll go right here.
Yeah, Colorado. So coming off that win, their previous win, a win that was much needed after losing 2 in a row, 2 tough games. Stanford's really struggling this year, and I think Colorado needs more momentum. They're back at home. They play really well at home, and I think that this is going to be a really motivated team. It's my understanding that Travis Hunter is still going to be out. But
he's
go ahead.
Possible, but it's probably more unlikely that he will not be playing because of his lacerated liver.
Yeah, would not be surprising that he doesn't play in this game. Oh, damn it. Texas, Houston won. Whatever. Baseball. But
I was about to say.
Yeah, go. I know we were just talking about Houston. No, baseball. Yeah, Colorado. This is going to be. I think they need a statement win here. I think they need a statement win to kind of get the swagger back, to keep it moving forward. You saw after the Arizona State game, though, Shadur Sanders throwing up the watch in front of the student section. That was a ballsy move on his part, but he did it. And so they need to take that momentum going back home against Stanford, a team that's lost 4 in a row. And so what's the spread? The spread, I literally looked at it earlier. It was 11 and a half. I think that they're due for an ass kick. I think they're due to give an ass kicking. Give me Colorado.
Are you not worried about? So let's get this right. Oregon, they played both of them so far, and they have the exact same score, 42-6. Does that not faze you?
Nope, doesn't faze me at all because it's. Come on, honestly, you could play a team. One team could play a team and do terrible, and then another team who has the same exact record, who could be the same exact team, could somehow play that team a lot tougher. I think it all depends on how you go into the game, how you view this game, how motivated are you. I think the fans are going to show up and come to this game because I think the prime effect is still alive and well. Is Lil Wayne going to come marching out with the team and rap for the team? No, I don't think it's going to happen. But I think that this team is still going to have that swagger to them, that momentum. I think the fans are going to be there. I think they're going to support this team because they love what they're seeing overall. And this is their first time back at home in a while. I think they're due for a big win here.
Just take a look at the schedule real quick. Take a look at Stanford's schedule.
Also this Colorado, they were favored 20 plus against Colorado State, and they had to go to overtime. Does that not faze you?
That's a rivalry game. And
so it doesn't faze me because they were at Colorado. No, sorry. No. And earlier I said that they were on the road. They were home against USC. I mean, that was a hell of a game. Arizona State, that's a tough atmosphere. Okay, that's going to be a tough game no matter what. And yeah, Arizona State, they've been shuffling around with their quarterbacks. I think they played like 4 quarterbacks this year so far. Despite all of that, you look at USC. They struggled at home against Arizona. Okay, and I think that every week is different, right? They still came away with that victory regardless. And it was a close one. It came down to the field goal. It came down to a game-winning field goal.
Well, I said
still got the
State,
win. And now
I
think you said Colorado State. Yeah, but I know what you meant. They're now back home. I think that there is I think especially a Friday night game, something a little bit different there. It's prime time. With prime time as your coach, I think this team is motivated enough to really just honestly put the foot down and deliver an ass kicking that they really need to deliver.
I'm questioning the minus 11.5. I think Colorado's going to get the win, though. I mean, just look at who Stanford's played here.
No, they're going to get the win.
Got absolutely obliterated by USC. They lost to whoever this is.
No, they got obliterated by Oregon.
Sacramento State, and they lost.
They tried coming back against USC, though.
Yeah, so they did have a tough loss against Arizona, but, I mean, Arizona's figuring it out right now. But we got to move forward. I'd like to spend all day on Colorado like everyone else does, but we're going to watch that prime time. Everyone's going to be watching them. Sorry, Justin. We got to move on. All right. Georgia Bulldogs going to play this football game at a real construction site at Vanderbilt. They are favorite minus 31.5, and I'm going to spend another lock here because the Dogs are running wild now. I think they figured it out. They done trounced Kentucky. They ate some cats. I think they're going to bite the butt cheeks of the Commodores and just drag them all over the field.
What's a Commodore? What's a Commodore?
It's like a regal, like soldier, Navy guy.
It's a naval officer of a high rank.
There you go. I was pretty close.
Yeah.
Shout out to Oxford Dictionary.
There you go. Good job. That was quick.
Just Googled it.
Yeah, that's that radio. Those are radio show fingers right there, Davis. It's that radio show fingers.
That's good. Yep. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Georgia's going to get the win here. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it is another one of my locks because I think now, like mid-season, is when you start putting all your money on these teams that have been proving themselves week in and week out. In Georgia, I think they're coming into their own. They figured it out. They just put up 51 against Kentucky. No one else? All right, surprise.
No. Well, not other than I will say Carson Beck played phenomenal.
Yeah,
I think there were some question marks on what he could do. This guy freaking slung the ball.
Any takers on this Michigan-Indiana game right here? Michigan-Indiana.
Yeah. Okay, so to me, this was the most obvious over in the world. Michigan is scoring points like crazy, and
Oh my gosh.
thank God they are. Dude, the over and under is 44.5. Dude,
Can I change another lock?
Michigan has, with the exception of I think 2 games, like the games that they have played have gone over that total. Just last game, the last 2 games they've scored more than 44 points, or 44.5 points, I guess I should say. So give me Michigan's on a roll. They're scoring points like crazy, and I think Indiana, they have the ability to maybe put 2 touchdowns on them. Yeah, I think this over is a lock for me without a doubt.
I want to lock it in.
You want to lock it in as well, Justin? That's 2 locks. We're going to change it down.
I'm like over here being that guy, but I mean, 45 points. I mean, minimum Michigan's putting up 6 touchdowns in Indiana. They're getting at least a field goal. I don't think they shut them out.
Yep. I mean, and you know what?
Not so fast, my friend.
I got them covering. I just as easy. I could see Michigan covering this. It's minus 33.5. I'd like the over a lot better. I probably should have done the over on my parlays, but I didn't. I did them covering. So we're gonna stick with that. I'm locking in them covering 33.5. All right. That's good. Any takers on the rival down there in Ohio State? They're going to Purdue. 11 a.m. game at Purdue. Ohio State has lost one of these games before.
I don't like this game.
Not the same game. I don't think it's the same kind of game.
I never like this game.
Dude, Kyle McCord's a dog, though, dude. Kyle McCord, he's a damn good quarterback.
I mean, they're late in the game against Maryland, but early on, man, he was looking like dog water. And I think someone pulled him to the side and said, hey, we have the best wide receiver, maybe the best wide receiver in the country in Marvin Harrison Jr., and you're not going to throw the man the ball? Throw that man the ball. Get him the ball.
Throw that man the ball.
It's not even in South Park right now, Rob.
I mean, it didn't make sense to me. And I was sitting with 2 Ohio State fans, and they were losing their fucking mind. They were like, take him out of the game. We got a guy over there who's gonna go first round in this draft, and you're not gonna throw him the ball.
Look, Ohio State's gonna win this ball game. Only fun fact I have about Purdue is former Texas quarterback Hudson Card is now quarterbacking this team. Doesn't matter. Ohio State's going to win.
Yeah. I'm not spinning lock. That minus 19.5. Until Ohio State proves like some more to me, I cannot like they're not consistently scoring the points like I like them to cover, you know?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, I would if I had to, I would take it, but because I don't think Purdue's that good this year, but
I mean, they have a better line versus Purdue than they did versus Maryland, and Maryland was undefeated.
Yeah.
Like that's like I don't know, like, and they beat Maryland by 20. They covered that game. I mean, they haven't played Purdue, but I mean, they beat Michigan State and Indiana. I mean, hell, all right, let's get this one real clear. If Maryland put up 44 on Indiana, you know damn well Michigan's putting up 45.
You got a good point there. I don't know. I'm just staying away from it this week. I think I saw other ones I like better.
I just don't like touching Purdue. They're the spoil makers. That's what I've always called them, the spoil makers. It's just not football you want to touch, man. They got some weird vibes over there. And, yeah, I just never touch them. Never touch them. They always get some weird stuff going on.
All right. You know who else I'm not touching this week?
Florida State Seminole Vesicles.
The Florida State Seminole Vesicles. Syracuse coming in to Doak Campbell in Tallahassee. That's also 11 a.m. Tickets as low as $9, it says.
Woo!
Yeah, so you can get drunk in Tallahassee and go to the game for less than $100 probably. But the spread's what? I think it said 17.5.
17.5.
Yeah, 17.5. You know, I could see him doing it. I could see him covering. Syracuse kind of let me down against Clemson, so I'm staying off of them. I'm staying away from this game. I think FSU gets. I think FSU gets a win. I think FSU gets a win. But Justin is saying,
not so fast, my friend.
You're running past my locks. God, hold on. Yes, this is one of my locks. And no, it will not be in favor of Florida State. Because when is it ever that I favor Florida State? Never. Garrett Schrader, man, dude's a fun guy to watch. I've been loving watching this kid throw. He's got 1,200 on the season, 8 touchdowns, and he's fun to watch.
Good quarterback.
Yeah, I love watching this guy. He's very similar to like just a very overall just a good quarterback who I feel he's going to do really good at Syracuse. He's done a pretty well season, and I don't know. Like I got Florida State hasn't impressed me to where I'm saying, oh yeah, they're going to be a conference team by 3 scores. So give me the Orange Men to cover that 17.
It's locked in, and you know what? I like it too. I like. Do you say is it Slater? What's how do you say Schrader? Yeah. I like him too, but I praised him right before that Clemson game, and they went and lost big time. So I'm just gonna stay quiet, and I'm gonna watch the game, and I'm gonna be being like Schrader's a dog, very very quietly until he does something good.
Justin, you'll appreciate this. This is a very quick side note. Very quick baseball related news. Diamondbacks hit 4 home runs in 1 inning against the Dodgers. So 4-0 Diamondbacks against the Dodgers. Holy shit. Very unrelated to what we're talking about, but that's just breaking news. Right, Florida State.
No, I mean, unless you want to give a take on Florida State, I was going to move on.
Man, they suck, yeah.
Only take I have is Florida State. I think they're starting to get their groove back a little bit, and they're starting to move a little bit consistently. Going to be a fun game to watch, though. But give me Florida. Yeah, Florida State.
Yep. I mean, we'll give it to them.
Like it'll be a frisky game. It's gonna be a frisky game. It'll get the blood flowing.
Every time I try and play it, you start talking. I wanted to play a soundbite again.
One more time.
Well, no, we'll move on. Anyway, Alabama hosting Arkansas. I think another team that's coming into their own. Alabama, after that win against Texas A&M, it could be smooth sailing for them. I think. It sucks to say this, but I think we're going to end up with a Georgia-Alabama SEC championship.
Yeah. Woo, we're back. We're so back.
I think that's what it's going to be again.
We're so back.
Because they're playing so much better.
We're so back.
They're playing so much better.
I think Josh Pate said this.
We were pooping on this team, a month ago? And then Nick Saban, people are going back and saying that this is the genius of Nick Saban, how it's against USF. Let's play our other quarterbacks and see what they can do. Well, guess what? They took a shit. So now moving forward, even though Jalen didn't even play in the game. Afterwards, they're like, yeah, we're moving forward with him. And now the offense seems to be clicking. They seem to be working. They did the same exact thing. What back in 2015 between Cooper Bateman and Jake Coker, and they went on to win a national championship. I don't think that's going to happen necessarily this year, but you're seeing this team develop its identity. No, Blake Sims was the year before.
He split time with someone too. Was it Coker?
I think it was Coker, and then Sims won the job.
Okay.
Good job on your Alabama history, boys. But this one, I got to say.
Who cares?
There you go.
I care.
You care? You care? I mean,
here's the thing. I think Josh Pate said this. You didn't kill Alabama when you had the chance, and now they're starting to Alabama again.
Yeah.
It's just you fucked up. You fucked up. And now they're going to be playing. They're pretty offended that they're like going into week 4 of being ranked outside the top 10. They're not happy about that. That's not them. They're going to come out here and show out. They're just going to slowly creep back up until they get into Atlanta with Georgia again, and they're going to do their damn thing, and they're going to ball the fuck out.
Yeah, -20 though. Do you think they cover? I would say.
That's it. I'd say yes. I think this becomes one of their statement games. We thought USF would be one of those statement games, and like we said, didn't kill them when they had the chance. But this is they won by 6 versus A&M. I think this is their coming out party that say, hey, we're still those guys.
Yep, I agree with you, Justin.
They're so familiar with KJ Jefferson at this point. They know what the guy does.
All right, moving on. Penn State or UMass going to Penn State. I'm going to say I got Penn State covering in this, but it's like a lot of points. It's like 44.5 points. I think they'll do it. I'm just mentioning that because I got in a parlay. California going to Utah. I'm staying away from betting on Utah games until I know for sure Cam Rising is going to be playing or he's not playing. And they're keeping it a mystery, so I don't like betting on those games. But Utah is favorite. Is Utah an upset alert right here against California?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Utah -12. I think Cal might cover that. I don't see I
can believe that.
Yeah, I think California's got a good enough defense that they could really upset Utah, but it's at Utah. So I think I'm going to give Utah the win here. But very close game. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, they have that. Don't they still have that home winning streak at Utah, or have they dropped that yet? Which game did they drop? They dropped
UCLA. UCLA.
No, they didn't. They dropped Oregon State. They beat UCLA by 7.
Oh, okay. Yep. See, Pac-12 is getting me all fucked up.
They have they're on 21 straight at home. I don't think they're going to let that one slip away to Cal. So
there you go. Lock it in. All right, moving forward. If you're watching at home, we're skipping one obviously, but Texas A&M going to Tennessee.
Which one?
Wait, you're skipping Penn State, UMass?
Dude, what the fuck, man? I want to talk to the man.
I definitely just briefly mentioned them. I said Penn State's going to cover. It's like 44.5 points.
41.
I had more to say.
Even better. Say something about Tennessee hosting Texas A&M. Who's going to win this ball?
I will, actually, because I was teetering hard back and forth on whether I wanted to lock this game or not. I think that Texas A&M is going to make this a hell of a ball game. I really do. And Tennessee's a hard place to play. It really, really is. But, I mean, this team is a much better team with Max Johnson at quarterback. I think they are. He is a talented quarterback. He moves the ball down the field. And guess what Tennessee really struggles with doing? And it's kind of the same with Alabama's. They're going to run the ball. They're going to try and set the pace, and then they're going to throw a deep ball. But Joe Milton really struggles in terms of consistency. I think he does. And good thing he's limited his interceptions this year, so he's done a good job with that. But I think that this opens up an opportunity for Texas A&M. It's going to be a close game, but I think Tennessee is going to edge out a victory.
You think Tennessee's going to edge out a victory?
Yeah, I think Tennessee's edging out a victory. Edging. They're edging, man. They're going to get teased like crazy, but they're going to edge it out.
This game is all about who is playing at home, in my opinion. Kyle Field and Nayland, some of the best to play in the country. And because they're such, in my opinion, close related teams on how competitive they are, how good they are, I think you have to go with Tennessee here because they're playing at home. Rocky Top, man, it's going to ball out. And, they're starting to find their stride again. You beat South Carolina by 21. I don't think that's a slouch team right there. You also beat UTSA 45-14. I think Tennessee's starting to find their stride again to where they can maybe compete when they head to Bryant-Denny next weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I was hung up on this game. I'm not going to bet it. Texas A&M, I think Texas A&M has something to prove after losing to Alabama. Max Johnson looked good there against Arkansas, and then he looked like dog water against Alabama. So find a happy medium against Tennessee. Texas A&M's O-line, they have to protect Max Johnson. Otherwise, he's not going to be good. He's going to make some mistakes, and Tennessee could run away with it. They got a wide receiver coming back in. One of their top wide receivers, so they're going to have an additional weapon that they haven't had all season long. But I'm going to pick Texas A&M. I'm going to pick Texas A&M to cover that +3. I don't know.
Shot game?
I don't know. We'll see. This is potential.
Oh, actually, that's a fun idea.
Game.
I think this is a great shot game.
Okay, fine.
Shot game.
It's a shot game. Here we go.
Shot game. Tennessee.
There we go. They're on Tennessee. I'm on Texas A&M. We'll see how it goes. Kansas going to Oklahoma State. This is kind of an interesting game, but we got to go lightning fast here, boys. Kansas State, Oklahoma State.
Let's do it.
Anyone?
Someone just shit their mind.
No. Oh my God.
Man, that was funny. Which one were we on again?
Kansas, Oklahoma State. Anyone here? Oklahoma State coming off a hot victory against Kansas State. They haven't been good all.
I think Daniels for Kentucky is questionable for this game, so they don't know if he's going to play in this game yet. And that's going to be a difference.
Yeah, but Bean. They got the Bean though.
They're the Bean man.
Yeah, and he played well. I think he's played one game this year so far. Like he played really well.
He lit up UCF. There you go, Pat. Mentioned there. That was an absolute trouncing, dude. That was absolutely
Look at them boys go.
I don't know enough about this team. I'm good. I can.
Yeah,
move
we're
on.
staying away from this. All right. This one is near and dear to me. As you can see, I'm wearing the jersey. It's the Gators going to Columbia, and it's Cocktober in Williams-Brice Stadium. It's boys. I don't know about this one.
This one's
gonna be a tough one. Dude. I have because Florida has played like dog shit on the road. I mean, in South Carolina being -2. I would take South Carolina.
Yep.
I would take South Carolina. I think even though South Carolina is 2-3, Florida has yet to prove they can do it on the road. And so until they can go in South Carolina, which is always a really tough place to play, Spencer Rattler, you know what? I don't think the record says enough about what he can do with this team. I can't help but say if you're going to put some money on this game, put it on South Carolina. That's my opinion. But put on South Carolina.
I looked at the weather this weekend, and Columbia is expecting to get a lot of sandstorms coming in, and it doesn't look good for Gators. Gators don't do really good in sandstorms, from what I heard. They're used to a lot of rainy weather in the swamp and whatnot, but when it comes to chickens and sandstorms, they do pretty good over there in Columbia, South Carolina. So I think they're going to feel right at home, and they're going to dominate.
Yeah, I mean.
That was a Chad Brillante joke. It really was.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Love you, Chad.
Love you, Chad.
Can South Carolina stop the Florida rushing attack? Billy Napier said, hey, we know we've been doing bad on the road. We're going to get there early. We're going to get some sleep on Wednesday. We're going to get to the stadium early. That was his solution to this whole thing. But in all reality, I think Florida's got some guys back on the offensive line. I think we got Eugene Wilson back. I think Florida can run on South Carolina, and if they can run on South Carolina, they're going to be able to throw those intermediate passes, and I think we get the win. I think Billy Napier's got to make this his statement win. He's got to make a statement win, because if he wins his game, guys, that's 5 wins on the season. Florida was expected to get 5.5 wins on Vegas, so he's already there. And that's all he's got to do.
And that would be awesome, right? Like, and you would think like the opportunity clearly is there, because then guess what you get in your next game? Fortunately not next week, because we get a bye week, which we need, because then we get Georgia. We get to go to Jacksonville. And holy cow, am I not excited about that? And Robert, you and I have been to Jacksonville. We have been to this game. This game is fun. This game is heated. There is so much that goes into that game. The Gators need a victory in this game, and then they need that bye week going into that Georgia game, because my God, they got to do something in order to pull off anything against that team.
That's right, Davis. I'm saying the Gators get the win here. I'm pumped. I want to go to this game in Columbia so bad, but I hear you. We need the win going into the Georgia game and into the bye week. I'm not too excited about that Georgia game. I'm not going to lie, but we'll see what happens. But I think the Gators get the win, and I could see a world where South Carolina comes out and absolutely just dick slaps us as well, though. I
mean, and also think about it. Let's say Florida gets by South Carolina, then they lose to Georgia. Arkansas is struggling, and it's a home game. They beat Arkansas. LSU, I think a loss is on the board. You never know against Missouri, but they're a pretty decent team this year. And then back at home against Florida State, and I'll be at that game. So, you know what? Maybe we can etch out 8 wins in this season. That's a success.
What are we talking about here? I don't know, man. They got to get past South Carolina first. If they don't
Let's get past South Carolina. Let's get past South Carolina.
If they don't get past South Carolina, I don't see too many wins down the schedule. But
yeah, we are essentially here's how it's going to go. If we don't beat South Carolina, we're dropping Georgia. We're getting into a head buster of Arkansas. LSU's a loss. Missouri should be a win, and then we don't know about Florida State. So if we don't win this week, and we're like, okay, we have to kind of like grind out 6 wins for a bowl game. Yeah. You know,
dude, what a way to celebrate my 30th though if Florida beats Florida State. That's dude, I'd probably be that next guy getting tased on the football field.
Happy birthday. All right, moving on. Louisville at Pittsburgh. This is only interesting because Louisville's undefeated and they're 14. They're like, respect us. Pittsburgh's like, hey.
Right?
What a line. What is this line? 7.5. What?
7.5, boys. I mean, and this is why the podcast is running long today, because there are literally so many games that are interesting and that have a huge impact on.
I gotta switch another one.
The whole thing.
I gotta switch another one, dude.
Pittsburgh is struggling. I was looking at this game. I was teetering on this one being another one of my locks. I decided to avoid it because you never know. Like Pittsburgh could come out hot, but
you never know.
Then again, they've lost 4 in a row, and their only win on the year is against Wofford. So, I think this is going to be a Louisville win for sure. I think they're going to ride that train. Jake Plummer, transfer out of California, has been awesome for this team. Defensively, Louisville's been strong. They ought to walk away with a victory.
I think I got to go Louisville here and cover and lock it in. It's cover.
You're locked in. That's 3 you've changed. So whenever we put the graphic up, you just remember your locks and go over it. That way you can look back and send me your new locks and I can make the graphic.
I thought I sent you a revised one. I sent you a revised one and now I'm like, I got to revise it again.
Well, good thing I'm not changing any of my locks.
I mean, I like both those locks, but I'm staying put in my locks just because I'm lazy. But yeah, I expect Louisville to get the win. I think Pittsburgh might make it close for no reason. Arizona at Washington State. Does Arizona get that ever so elusive Pac-12 victory this week?
No.
It's at Washington State. Washington State -8.
Dude, this is gonna be a game where touchdowns could be scored, but no, give me Washington State.
Yeah, give me Wazoo.
I think I'll take Arizona in the +8 though. I think Wazoo wins, but maybe Arizona covers.
Yeah, no, I mean they covered every other game.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you got to give the Wildcats some credit here, boys. They're having a good year.
Hey, they kicked ass against USC last week.
Yeah, another random lock. Sorry, I skipped it. Well, I don't know if I locked this in for the college football, but I definitely bet on it. I'm betting on the BYU boys again. I think they get the job done against TCU. TCU's favorite -6, so I took them at +6. I think it's going to be a good game. I think they're a better football team.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Who cares?
Moving on. Iowa, Wisconsin. This game's big. This game might decide the winner of the Big Ten West. And Iowa's favorite -10. It's in Camp Randall Stadium. They're going to be jumping. What do we think here, boys?
Wisconsin all day. Yep.
All right. Okay.
That's pretty. I think that's a pretty easy pick.
Yep. I like Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin this one too.
Yep. That's. I mean,
Mordecai.
Madison's not an easy place to play. I enjoy it, and I mean, Wisconsin, they dropped one game on the year, right? And that was to Wazoo. I just think you got to give them credit where credit's due. And, yeah, they're going to play ball.
And honestly, on my list of stadiums to go see, I think Camp Randall would be a hell of a place to go watch a football game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. That is up there. Like, I just want to, like, travel through the Big Ten one year.
Now, Iowa's got to score, I think, at least. It looks like McNamara is out the rest of the season. So
he is.
They're favored -10. I might even change another one. God bless.
You're making Rudy go to work.
Yeah, that's not gonna bode well for Iowa there. I mean, they got to score points though. If they don't score, what if the coach doesn't average or the offensive coordinator doesn't average 25 points over the season, I think he's fired. It's in his contract, so it's kind of public knowledge,
which is a little ridiculous. But I mean, just get the wins. But whatever.
Yeah, like what if he won every single game? And
what if I make a lock?
What if you make a lock? You want to lock it in? We'll lock it in.
+10. Give me Wisconsin.
There you go. It's locked in. Consider yourself locked up. All right. Big game here, and don't hate me for skipping Wyoming at Air Force because I really like that game. I think Air Force gets.
Well, you skipped a different game. You skipped one of my locks.
I skipped a big rivalry game too. So we'll go back. LSU hosting the Auburn Tigers. This game has tradition. This game has pageantry. It has rivalry. This game caused an earthquake in Tiger Stadium back in the in the late 80s, I think. LSU's favorite, -11 points. Does their offense get the job done? Do they cover?
Yes, they do. Although I don't think I locked this game in.
I originally I did, but it's no more a lock for me. But I think they do cover.
I got the over in this game. I'm not locking it in for our purposes, but I do have the over in this game. And I think LSU's offense is going to score a lot of points, and I think Auburn's going to score maybe a couple. They have the ability to score, especially against a defense like LSU's. LSU's defense has been absent pretty much. I think they put up over 61 points combined. I think the over is a good bet if you want to bet it. So there you go. Take that and run with it if you want. I think LSU gets the win. I think LSU is, 5-2 rolling into the rest of their schedule. And who they got next week? Army. They get that one. Then they go to Alabama. So LSU's gearing up to that Alabama game. So they get the win here against Auburn.
Yep.
They get the win against Auburn. And Jalen Daniels, by the way, look at the stats compared between him and Peyton Thorne. It is complete night and day difference. That is, we're talking about Jalen Daniels in terms of Heisman numbers. That's impressive stats. 19 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, almost 2,000 yards passing up to this point. Man.
He's putting up Heisman numbers. That's all there is to it. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. Defense just got to find something else. They got to find an answer. All right. Justin, I know you have a lock in this game, so we'll go to Georgia State, but we'll go to your Marshall Thundering Herds.
What is that? Scroll it back to the FPI. Why do they have a gold bar for Marshall? What is that? That's ugly. Get rid of that. That's ugly.
That should be green. Yeah. I don't know.
It should be green or black. That's ugly. What does gold have to do with anything? I think it's going to be a huge bounce back game for us. Georgia State, no slouch. They are favored in this game, of course. It's a 1-point line, so basically a money line bet. And I think Marshall comes out and wins on this one. If not, it's going to speak a lot of volume about where Marshall will finish the year. I think they are a strong competitor to win this season in the Sun Belt, but You got to start winning these games sooner rather than later. Georgia State, they're no slouch once again. They are 1-1 in Sun Belt play. They lost to Troy by 21, which that was a really random loss, but it did beat Coastal. So that's just Sun Belt for you. But I think Marshall goes. I think my parents are going to be at this game. And, should be a fun one in Atlanta. I'm kind of jealous they're going. Atlanta's like one of my favorite cities to go to because of all the museums and stuff they have. But I'm excited for it. I hope they get it done. And, that's going to be my last block.
Logging it down. All right. Now that I haven't skipped any games, we're moving forward. Sorry for skipping the Wyoming Air Force game. I think Air Force gets it done. I don't know if they cover, though. Maybe get Wyoming to cover. I think it's like -10.5 for Air Force, but that's going to be a cool game. If you have like some commercials, flip it over to that game, because about the same time you got the LSU game on, you got the Washington State game on, you got Louisville game on, and then 30 minutes later you got USC at Notre Dame. And I'm questioning my bet on this one. I called the over in this game, but the weather's looking like it might storm. There were videos earlier of USC coaches spraying down their players with water hoses while they were trying to return punts in preparation for the rain and the thunderstorms here. Notre Dame's favorite, -3 points. I don't know.
And Notre Dame honestly shouldn't be favored after how they played last week. But then again, Notre Dame played against a really good defense. USC doesn't have a good defense. So it's at home. The fans, obviously, it's going to be a sold-out crowd. It's going to be a tough atmosphere. USC needs to do something on defense, because guess what? Sam Hartman is still a really good quarterback. Notre Dame still has a very, very, very good running game. They can still tear up USC. If there's ever an opportunity for a loss for USC after they basically been begging for their first loss of the season, it is here. And Notre Dame, what a way to bounce back if it were to happen in this game. If there's ever an opportunity to happen, it's this week, and I think it will happen this week. Notre Dame is going to win this game, but I don't have it as a lock.
I used to. I give Notre Dame -3 in South Bend. Excuse me. Yeah, in South Bend. I don't know why I flinched on that. But, in South Bend, you see USC play the way they did versus Arizona. You're like, that's not very good. You see them play the way they did versus Colorado. That's not very good. You see Notre Dame play the way versus Louisville. That's not surprising. See how they play versus Duke. That's not surprising either. The ACC is a little – they had a couple of good teams they had to play there. They lost a couple. But I love Sam Hartman, and I love the way they look, and I think they're going to do pretty good here. Like they've had a really tough schedule. They play really good. I mean, they gave Ohio State a run for the money. I think they gave USC the run for the money, but they take it. So give me Notre Dame. Would have locked it in, but I found some other games along the way that I liked better.
See, this could equally be a good shot game. We could do a double.
How about we do a double? Let's do a double. Call a double.
I don't know. I think because I'm just envisioning the tush push going Notre Dame's way this time. But I don't know. Yeah.
Come on, man. Don't be scared.
No, I mean,
don't be scared.
I mean, I will.
It's okay if you're scared.
I'll go USC. I'll go USC on it, and we can do a double shot game because I want to see USC and Oregon. I want to see USC or Washington have that undefeated game, And Notre Dame, I don't know. If I look at the conferences and I say, who has the better conference, ACC or the Pac-12? I think I'd give the edge to the Pac-12 this year. And so that's kind of leading me to say USC is going to win. And that's gonna be how I'm gonna roll. I don't know. Listen to that logic. The Pac-12 versus ACC.
Yes, I get it, and I agree with your logic. But I also agree with the fact that defense wins championships. And if Notre Dame can hold Ohio State to 17 points on defense, I'm going to run with Notre Dame on that one, buddy. I'm going to run with them on that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, equal. I could see it going either way, but for the shot game purposes, I'll take USC. Both you guys are on Notre Dame. That's fine with me.
It doesn't matter what you think.
It don't really matter what you think. That's a great game. And finally, Well, maybe not.
Finally, so you have to do finally. But if you're going to play one rock sound, you have to do a different rock sound. You can't just have one without the other. You can't say it doesn't matter what you think and say finally and not play the rock.
Me tug dog, yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't have it, and it's not even finally because we got Miami going to North Carolina. We got Missouri going. We got UCLA going to Oregon State, and we got NC State going to Duke. So wrapping those games, I got the over in this Miami North Carolina game. I got Miami coming off that tough loss. They're like, hey, we got to prove ourselves, and we got to get back in this hunt for the ACC championship. And one way to do it is through North Carolina and those Tar Heels.
So you can't talk about Miami with the Rock once again. I mean, because you played there. Like, what are you doing here? Are you trying to say something here? Like, you play the rock sound, you hit finally, and then you talk about Miami. What are you saying here?
You know what? I will take the blame on that one. I definitely should have finally. I should have all the rock.
You got a whole rock segment you got going on here. Like, Dwayne Johnson's watching us, I guess.
Speaking of Dwayne Johnson, yeah. I mean, I kind of feel Miami getting the win here, but then again, North Carolina's playing good ball right now. North Carolina's playing good ball. They're favorite -3.5. I'm taking the over, but I think North Carolina gets the win.
Yeah, I have North Carolina taking the win. I'm locking this one in, by the way. The spread is 3.5. I also think Miami is reeling from that loss. That's a tough loss. And then you do that at home, and now you're going into North Carolina. North Carolina's looked really good. Drake May coming off a very, very, very good game against Syracuse. And I mean, I think that they're going to continue the momentum, and Miami is still struggling from the shocker that occurred the week before. And even if they won that game, I think that there was a struggle there that kind of needed to be addressed. And even if this was an undefeated against undefeated matchup, North Carolina still is the better team. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to lock it in at 3.5.
Justin, you got anything on this game?
I mean, I want North Carolina to play ball and do good because, I want them to compete in the ACC and hopefully give Florida State a run for their money. So yeah, but also I want to see Miami do good because they're the only other team in the ACC left on Florida State's schedule. So, that's kind of a weird one, but I'll go North Carolina win it.
Or Miami they get the loss here and then they go to Florida State and they still win with 2 or 3 losses on their schedule. That would be god awful.
Actually, that'd be even better. Yeah, go UNC. Yeah, go Heels. Go Heels, baby.
You're real anti-Florida State this year. I'm loving every bit of it. All right, Missouri coming off that tough loss at home against LSU, going to Kentucky, and Kentucky coming off an absolute ass whipping at Georgia. Kentucky's favorite -2.5. I hope Missouri wins so bad.
Yeah, Missouri, they want that top 25 ranking back. That's what they want. Mm-hmm. So they're going to go get it after this game. And I think they're going to play well. I think they're going to win this one. They got a good receiver. They got a decent running back. I think it's going to be a good game for them. And, yeah, give me the Tigers here.
Kentucky is.
Kentucky, no. Davis, what do you think about that one? What do you think? You got Kentucky or Missouri? Because I got to know.
So I think I got Kentucky in a close one, in a very close one. Both teams coming off losses, but it's at home. Kentucky. I think they're due for a rebound.
Is that the new stadium right there in that picture? That looks fire.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
That looks fire.
All right, Oregon State hosting UCLA. And if I had to bet on this game, I would go with the under. Both teams have defenses that are performing really well in the Pac-12, which means they're good. They're good defenses. Over-under's 54 points. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's a coin toss. That's why you got Oregon State favorite -3.5. You got them give 3 points for a home field advantage. So that's pretty much coin flip ball game. It's a pick 'em.
Yeah. I think I just want to see DJ Uiagalelei be a little bit more. I don't know. I want to see him throw the ball 30 times and complete 28 passes. I want to see him throw for 400 yards. I want to see him try and push that ball down the field, and I think that's how they beat UCLA.
Davis wants DJ to be Superman. Okay.
DJ who?
DJ Uiagalelei.
I just wanted to do that. That's all I was doing.
Oh, by the way, did we talk about Alabama? We talked about them, right?
Yeah, we talked about Alabama.
I completely forgot. I had them as a lock at -20 over Arkansas.
All right.
This is true, Davis.
I knew I was missing a lock there. I know we're getting towards the end. I just want to make sure I threw that in. I had a lock Alabama over Arkansas.
That is perfectly fine. All right, Duke, absent O'Reilly Leonard hosting NC State. Duke is favorite -3.5 points here. I don't know about that. They're coming off a bye week. Riley Leonard's not playing. I don't know if it's going to be the same Duke team.
No, it won't be. It won't be.
I think NC State gets the win. I got NC State plus 3.5. I'm not locking it in, but that's what I got.
NC State, man, just beat one of the best teams in the country last week, and yeah, plus 3.5. That's such an easy cover for them. Yeah, give it to the Wolfpack.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Wolfpack here. Just I don't know what this team is like without Riley Leonard.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do as well. And that brings us to the college football extravaganza game of the week, which is Oregon going to Husky Stadium in Washington. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a ruckus. Let's go. All right, big game here, boys. This might be the game of the Pac-12 season, and it's college football game day, game of the week. It's going to be Barstool game of it's going to be everything. Husky Stadium's going to be rocking. One of the few stadiums in the country where you can sail a sailgate at. So that people are going to be pulling up in their boats and whatnot. Washington's favorite -3, which we just said that's home field advantage. It's an even game. It's a coin toss. I think that 9 out of 10 times, maybe 7 out of 10 times, Washington would win this game. But I'm feeling an Oregon victory. I'm gonna go Oregon and the Ducks.
This was a game that I was going back and forth on so much. First off, I am locking in on this game, and here's why. It's because I think these two teams are going to score a lot of freaking points. The over and under is at 67. I've got the over. I'm locking in on the over. Who is going to win this ball game? I think that Washington is going to edge out on this one. I think that Washington is going – and here's why. The fact that they're at home. Michael Penix Jr. is a gunslinger of all gunslingers, but damn it, so is Bo Nix. This is such a good game. I'm so excited for this game, and I'm so excited it's at 2:30 in the afternoon, so I don't have to fall asleep during it. It's going to be such a good game. They're going to score so many points. But damn it, if I have to choose somebody, give me Washington because they're the home team. It's going to be so much fun, though. I can't wait to watch this game.
You locked in, and before you go, Justin, I also have the over locked in, 67 points. So that's where I'm going on the over. I'm just picking Oregon for funsies. I think both teams could win this game.
This is a game like A&M Tennessee where it's about who's playing at home, in my opinion. Eugene, Duck Stadium, really tough place to play. Husky Stadium, even tougher. I love Washington, and y'all know it. I've talked about it all year long. They're the dark horse to win. Penix, he's running Penix all year long. We love Penix. And he's going to win the Heisman, in my opinion. He's one of the best up there. And because this game's at Husky Stadium, Washington, they should be really happy about pulling that as the draw. You got to go with the Huskies here, man. The defense, they do pretty good, but this offense is also just as electric. Bo Nix, he's starting to fall off a little bit. You got to go Washington on here. I had it as a lock -3, but I found some better games along the way. But for my game of the week, I got to go Washington and cover and also to win this one here.
Boom. All right. And that's gonna do it. We're gonna cover these locks real quick. Davis obviously leading. That's gonna be 19-14. Not 20-13, but he's got Colorado -11.5, UNC -3.5, Michigan and Indiana over. I think it was 44.5. Oregon in Washington over 67.5. Alabama minus 20 now. And we'll give you the 19.5 because you got it then. I got pretty much, I got a couple of the same ones on there. Oregon, Washington over, Michigan covering against Indiana, minus 33.5, Georgia covering against Vandy, minus 31.5, Miami, UNC over. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in that game. And then West Virginia, minus 3 against Houston there on the Friday night. Justin, Syracuse. I don't even know, dude. You just say, if you have them right there, just say what they are. Right now,
Syracuse plus 17.5. That is a lock for me. Washington was a lock and they're minus 3, but I moved that to a WVU minus 2.5 versus Houston. Marshall plus 1, keeping that lock. And I had Notre Dame minus 3 once again. I don't know what the pluses and the minuses are doing, but and it's not that they matter. They're not real locks. Notre Dame changed that to Michigan, Indiana over as well. And then LSU, I had them at minus 11, but I switched it to Wisconsin plus 10 overall against Iowa.
Boom. And that's going to do it for another week of college football extravaganza. Thanks for joining us. And like, share, and subscribe if you're watching this. Get the word out, y'all. Enjoy another week of college football. That's all I got.
Do the bird.